Hi everyone, let's solve this problem. Course schedule. There are total of num courses you have to take labeled from 0 to num courses minus 1. That means if num courses is 5, the courses will be 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's what they are saying. You are given an array prerequisites where prerequisites of I is equals to a of I comma b of I indicates that you must take course b of I first if you want to take course a of I. For example, the pair 0 comma 1, let's say for example this is the pair they have given, indicates that take course 0. To take course 0 you have to first take course 1. So first you have to finish 1 and then you have to take course 0. Return true if you can finish all courses, otherwise return false. So that's what they are mentioning. And it's possible to not being able to take the course as well, because if you see in this case they have mentioned 0 comma 1 and 1 comma 0 and 0 comma 1. So it's like 0, this is a course, one course is dependent on 0 and 0 course is dependent on 1. So we will never be able to finish one course to finish the other one. So that's the reason it is never going to happen. So to explain the same problem, I have taken a different example. So here in this case num courses will be 5 and these are the prerequisites. So if you observe the prerequisites, there will be definitely 5 nodes, 5 courses, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because it will start from 0 till num courses minus 1. So let me be clear, instead of n let me just write num courses is equals to 5, right? Num courses is 5. Now let's say for example I have a edge from like this is 2 and 0. 2 is the course, 0 is the prerequisite, right? So we have to first finish 0 in order to finish 2, and then this is the course, again 2 is the course and prerequisite is 1, and same thing here, 3 is the course, 1 is the prerequisite. So if this is the given array nodes, then I have node or course and then I have prerequisites, right? So if let me write all the courses, and if I have all these courses, 0 has no prerequisites and 2 has 1 has again 0 prerequisites, 2 has 2 prerequisites, and 3 has 1 prerequisite, and 4 has 2 prerequisites, 2 comma 3, right? So this is the prerequisites array map where we have like course and its prerequisites. Now let's consider I have to check if I can finish all these courses. Let's see how we can do that. Let's say for example I started the course, 0th course. I see that there are no prerequisites, so I can finish it off, and then I will this is already finished. That then we will go to the next course. This is also already can be finished because it has no prerequisites, and then I move to 2. It has 0 prerequisite which is already done, so this is already complete, and we have one more prerequisite 1 which is also completed based on the previous courses which we have just seen. so because of which course 2 also can be completed. And then course 3 has a prerequisite of 1, so this also can be complete because it is already complete here. And for course 4 we have 2 and 3 as prerequisite. 2 is done, 3 is also done, so 2 and 3 will are already done, so 4 also can be completed. This is how we kind of look into it. But now let's try to understand using DFS how we go through all of these courses. So let's say I started the course 0, this is done. Then I go to course 1, this is also done because there are no prerequisites. And then I go to 2, I have 0, so 0 I go to, from 2 to 0 I go and check if there are any prerequisites to complete, but there are no prerequisites, so this is already kind of done. And then I go to the next prerequisite in this particular course, so it's 1. Again I go from 1 to the course 1 and check if it's already achieved. If that is it is already done, so this course is also done. Now whenever we, okay, we'll come back to that. Let's say for example now I move to 3, this is possible, 2 is done. Now in this case of 3 I have 1, so again I'll check 1, there are no prerequisites, so this can be completed. Now I have 4, at 4 I have 2. If you check 2 has prerequisite of 0 and 1, so first I'll go to course 0 as a prerequisite and then it is empty. And again I'll have to check for the 1 and it has prerequisite of empty. So instead of checking again, whenever we computed for this particular case, if all the prerequisites are already met and this course can be completed, I will, instead of having these prerequisites, I'll make it empty. So whenever we revisit again, we don't really have to go through all the prerequisites again. Same thing happens here in case of 3. We are done with 2 node, so it can be done. For 4 we'll go to 3, 3 has 1, 1 has empty, but we already have seen that we can complete course 3, so we just have to mark it as done. So how can we do that? Instead of having prerequisites with courses, it should be an empty array, that means it's already completed. So this is how we do. And now when we replace these things, it will be immediately done, and this particular, once it is completely, we are completely sure that these 2 courses prerequisites can be completed, then 4 also will be done, so we just kind of replace it with empty array. Now we are done with course and prerequisites part, and since we were able to complete all the courses from 0 to 4, that means we can finish all the courses and we should return true in this case. But let's take one more example where we have like 3 courses, 0, 1, 2, and prerequisites are 1, 2 and 0. If you see here, we have 0, 1, 1 will go to 2, 2 will go to 0. Again I have to go to the start, and this cycle keeps repeating, right? So this is, we can avoid this by having a set. We can name it as visited, and inside that, whenever we visit a node, we just insert, let's say for example 0 I have visited, and 1 I go to 1, so 1 I have already visited. Now I am going to 2, 2 is already visited. Now when I am going to its prerequisites, when I see 0, it's already there in the set. That means we are going into a loop, so we just have to return false because we will never be able to finish these courses. This is the other thing. Now let's try to write a code for this. So let's create a prerequisite map Initially, let's initialize all the courses with empty prerequisites. So all the courses will be from 0 to less than num courses. If there are 5 courses, it will be 0 to 4 I plus plus, and then premap dot set of I comma empty array. Once this is done, we have to go through all our prerequisites, this prerequisites, and if you see, this will be the course and this will be the prerequisite, which we discussed when we were reading the problem statement. So we have to finish this prerequisite before we kind of can get to the course. So now I just have to add it. I have to maintain. So this is the prerequisite array which we got, but in order to traverse it, we kind of creating an array with every course and its respective prerequisites as array of courses, right? So we are going to do that. We are going to get the inside that map, we are going to push our prerequisite. Once that is done, we are going to go through all the courses and we are going to call DFS with a particular course. And if this is not true, if one of them is also not returning true, we just have to return false from here, that we cannot finish the course, otherwise return true. Now we will also maintain a visited set, which we discussed, to check if there is a like cycle or not. So we will maintain that. Now let's also write the code for the DFS. So in this case we will get course. So if visited dot has of course, that means we will never be able to finish the course, so we will just return false from this case. If premap dot get of course dot length is equals to 0, that means there are no prerequisites and we can complete that course, so we will be returning true. And if these are not the case, whenever we visit a node, we are going to add it into our set, and then for let me get the prerequisites of course. Let pre of course is equals to premap dot get of course. Once we get the so basically we are getting the array of prerequisites. Once we get it, what will we do? We will call DFS of this particular prerequisite, and if any one of them returns false, we just have to return false. Otherwise we have to remove the course from our deleted like visited set, and then we have to set our course with an empty, because once we are able to finish completing all our prerequisites, there is no point in maintaining the array of prerequisites. The step which we have taken here, where we mentioned that there were prerequisites, but since we were able to finish it off, we can just replace it with empty array, so that whenever we get to a different node and it has 2 as a prerequisite, we don't have to again go through its prerequisites 0 and 1. Instead we just can return true from there. That is the reason we are going to change it to empty array, and then we are going to return true from here. So why do we have to delete? This is again a backtracking thing. Like once you are moving back from a node, let's say for example if I am going from 4, let's say I am at 4 and I am visiting 2, and let's consider 2 has to visit 0, then when I'm returning back here, I should not be having 0 as visited, right? So that is the reason. So this is mostly to do with the backtracking. If you want to understand it more, you can go through the subsets problem, you will understand it better. But yeah, okay, now let's try to run this code. Let's submit it. Okay, we got a wrong answer for one of the cases. Let's see what did we miss in this particular thing. Okay, this should be, we are getting uh, a array, and we have to pass array element instead of array index, right? That is the reason. Let's try to run it again. Just a second, maybe. Okay, one more thing is, yes, yes, it's successful. So the issue is, this is an array, so we have to take the array dot length instead of that, and then we have to take array element instead of like index. Or you can also actually write let pre of this particular variable, then you can just pass it as pre as well, instead of like thinking too much about the index and all. Run it off and submit it. Yeah, this should also work. So yeah, now let's understand the time and space complexity of this solution. So there is some like nodes and edges, right? So in this case, nodes, let's consider it as n, and edges, let's consider it as e. Edges are vertices, whatever is the thing. So the time complexity will be n plus e. For example, if you see here, we are kind of going through all the courses. So all the courses is nothing but nodes, nothing but n. And if you go into the DFS part of it, we are kind of iterating over all the prerequisites, and the prerequisites array is nothing but like any prerequisite array is nothing but an edge. So if you see here, we have here, in this case we had 0 and 1, so this is an edge, this is an edge, and then for 1 and 2 this was there because of the edge, and for 4 we had these two. So all of the prerequisites are nothing but edges. So the time complexity will be n plus e. So because at max we are visiting our nodes once, and we are trying to finish all the prerequisites, so it should be ne. And also let's take space complexity. In this case we are maintaining again preMap, which has all the nodes, and also inside the array it has all the prerequisites. If you see here, these are all prerequisites, so it is nothing but edges again. So it would be big O of n plus e in the worst case. So I hope this solution is clear. Thank you.